Two more decoders in, 3 Locos to upgrade. Which 2 make the cut? Come back after this title and find out. Hey everybody, Anthony Dodge, Mile Train Outsider, Miracle Outsider, back with more of the converting some of Herb's analog to digital. We're using the same decoder, the Miracle 60906, and I've got 3 more Locos I want to upgrade, but only 2 of them can be done because they only had 2 decoders in stock. So let's go over to the work table, or bar as it really is, and watch me try to figure out which one to do. All right, the 3 choices for upgrade, and really one's guaranteed, and that's this one, the E41. This is definitely getting the chip today because this is really has no reason not to upgrade it. It's sort of an old classic. So I'm definitely going to be upgrading this one. So that leaves 1 decoder for the 2 other choices. One of the 2 vying for upgrade today is this one, the Class 216. Now, the cons against it are that I already have a 216, so why do I need to upgrade this one? Because this one actually came with this shell, and if you look with the shell off, you can see this is already in a mess, and that's one of the reasons to do it. It's already disconnected, so it'd be real easy to pop the relay out and just rewire it. So, but I also like the idea of having a second one in this old Deutsche Bahn red to go with the V200. Although this wouldn't match. In the long run, I'll probably do something about maybe painting this the slate black and getting some appliques for that. Some people said just leave it alone, but yeah, I like the idea of having another Class 216, whether it's with its original shell or the replacement. I just want to do that one. And since it's already kind of in just a little bit of a mess, it just makes sense to go ahead and fix it all up with the decoder. The third option is this little red shunter, similar to that 363 V60 I did, the white one with the red stripe. The con is that, well, it's another shunter, and I'm not big into shunters, and I know a lot of people are already saying, oh, do this one, and I might be leaning towards this one, but as I have a 216 running, but I also have a shunter running, and I don't really use shunters. But, so yeah, it's really a tough call. So I'll think about it while I do that E41. All right, so let me show you something with the E41 as I get started here. This is inside. Obviously, here's our actual motor and engine, and this is what I call the relay. And you have a little pin here, and rather than go into all the technicalities, basically when you do a change of direction, this thing just pops and it changes the polarity over. This just pops in and changes the polarity. Anyhow, the thing I want to point out here is you'll notice these clips here. Something tells me that this was a kit build. In other words, you bought this locomotive and put it together yourself. I do know Miracle did some of that, and since these look like the standard Miracle little joints, I'm going to assume that's exactly what we have here. That this was a kit build, that you bought it and put everything and wired it up yourself. I do know Miracle did some of that, and a couple of friends I've showed this to have said, yeah, they agree. They think this was a kit build. So anyhow, what we have to do is we have to remove a whole bunch of wires and get rid of this. All right, so the relay is removed. And now we can pretty much see what I always see. Here we have one light. Here we have the other light feed. The yellow and the green are the two wires for the motor. We had this red wire here, which was joined in with power, because this could actually get power from the catenaries. This was could be powered from the catenary. So I'm not going to worry about that. I don't need that. And then down here, this is the pickup in brown coming from the shoe on the bottom. And it connected to this plate because this was the power feed. But that connects now to a wire off the decoder. So I might just use this plate as my ground plate and hopefully avoid any features. And I'll deal with this flange later. And I'm just debating whether I want to remove this plug to attach the wire from the decoder. But everything's out. I just have to attach the decoder base to this and then start reconnecting wires. And I don't know, I may just go ahead and reuse these as I can rather than solder. We'll see. In case I haven't done so before, and I think I have, I'll show you the basics here. This is the mounting plate. And then here's our decoder. And you've got a bunch of wires on it, of which, in this situation, the vast majority of them, I shouldn't say the vast majority, but over half of them will not be used. And then we have the wiring diagram. So, for example, nowadays everything's color-coded, but the line from the pickup shoe connects to the red line on the decoder. The green and blue are your two motor connections. Yellow and gray are the lights, front and back. And then if I have a smoker unit, if I were to have a smoker unit, I would use this red and green line. And if I had current conducting couplers, I would use this orange line. And then your ground is a brown wire coming off. And, you know, they always show you this just goes to the axle, but really there's a plate somewhere on here that you do it. And that's really it. All these other wires. So for me, I would not be... Oh, and this black wire connects to the one with the... I forget what this is. RF or something. I don't know if it's a capacitor or resistor or what. But yeah, so the black line on the top. And actually the decoder comes with a second orange line here as well. But I will snip that line. I will snip those two lines. And there's actually a purple line right here that the decoder doesn't account for because you definitely don't use it. So I'll be snipping that one. So I'll snip the top two, that one, and the two orange because I don't need them. I have decided I'm going to remove these wires here with the soldering iron, just get them out of the way. They're easy solder points there. And then I think the only line I'll really look at joining so I don't have to solder lines on is this one here. Okay, so the decoder is in place. I've actually shortened these wires a bit, but I'll be shortening them more, but it just makes it a little easier to manage. I've installed the mounting board and then snapped the decoder into place. So now it is just soldering, measuring, and soldering wires. For example, the power wires, the blue and green wires here, those will just attach to soldering points here and here. And then the yellow and gray lines will go here and here, and that's always a guess. It's always a bit of a guess. And then I just have to attach this black wire to this red wire here, and I think I'm just going to use the connectors they gave me. And okay, so everything is now joined. We've got the yellow line running to what was front end 1, because I always seem to think that the yellow line is front light, and the gray light to the back. The blue and the green are attached to the motor, and I wound up splicing the wires here because I kept having trouble with the little splicer, but the splicer here seems to be holding. So we're going to take it over to the test track and see if it reads and works. Alright, so I've got it on the test track, and if we have power and if everything else is good, it should load up into the Central Station 3 in about 10 seconds or so. Looks like it's going in. So there it is. I'll sort all that out later. But I had to do some modifications. I had to go back and look at one. Apparently when we've got this board here, you need to, rather than connect the red wire straight to the pickup, you have to connect them on opposite sides of the shoe. This plate here, which was the switch plate. This connects the two currents here, so why you can't direct current here. But I had to go back and look at my 111s that also had this top bottom catenary or shoe, and so I just wired it that way, and all of a sudden it's in. So now we got to do some testing. Okay, so it is in the computer. Got it logged on. I've turned the light symbol on, so let's see if lights work. We have light. Now, is it in direction of travel? It should be going to my right, so let's see. Yep. All right, let's switch it and give ourselves some work the other way. All right. Yeah, I got a remote on there. So, I think it's good to go. We're going to put the shell on it and call it done. Okay, here it is. All wired up. Lights are on. It has not been run in. I don't even know how long it's been since this old timer has been run. So let's see how it goes together. All right, one down, one to go. So which of these two am I going to do? And I guarantee you, I know the vast majority which ones you're thinking. You'd like me to do this one because, hey, it's a cool, nice, clean shunter. But I'm going to do this one for a very simple reason. This one is small. It's a very tight area. It's got a couple of wires I'm not sure of because I haven't seen how it's set up because it's slightly newer, even though it's still got that old Alstrom motor. This one, half the work's already done. Nice big space, easy to work with. So I'm going to work with this one. I'm going to convert that one. So if you were hoping I'd do this one, sorry to disappoint you, but there's already been a little bit of nerves with the last one with a couple of things I had to refigure out. And this has just got too tight a space for me to try to really work on right now, so I'll save that for another day, and we're going to do this other 216 today. Alright, so once again, the relay motor is out, and we're just going to mount the decoder, trim the wires, and then start fidgeting and resolder everything. Alright, so as I haven't shown it before in any of these videos, I'll show it this time. So here's the mounting plate. screwed into that post, just exactly where the relay switch, relay motor was. And now we just clip the decoder in here and trim the wires back and then start rejoining. Okay, so all wires connected. Let's take it over to the table and see if maybe we get it right on first try this time. All right, it's on the track. Well, I'm not quite sure why, but it did install, although we do have this warning. It says MFX locomotive was read incompletely. So we'll see what we can do about that. Okay, so we had a little bit of a buzz. It moved a little bit and then it just stopped. So I'll have to maybe check the brushes and other issues. But for now, I'm just going to call it a no-go. So we're 1 for 2 today. I'm sure somebody's thinking, you should have done the other one. I didn't want to mess with how tiny that was and the couple of wires I wasn't sure of and really didn't want to take it apart and try to figure it out. So for now, we're 1 out of 2 today. So back to me. Well, 1 out of 2 today. Not sure the motor in that 216 isn't seized up, but we had some juice flowing and then it stopped. And I'm kind of been bothering with it for about an hour and just not finding it. So I'll look into the brushes and a couple other things and see what I can figure out. So it is what it is. But at least we got the E410 running, and or the E41 024 running, and that's a win. That's a win, and I'll eventually get that other shunter done up with whenever I get my next order from Lipa, and get one more decoder. I'm also working on a different decoder project, but that one will wait until I figure out the tools that I have to do it. So until the next time, I'll say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains. Take care, everybody.